Hi, thank you for having me. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the First Nations people, the traditional custodians of this land. We pay our respects to our Aboriginal elders, both past, present, our youth and our emerging leaders, and we are on Darkinjung land today. I'd also like to acknowledge the individual and collective contributions of those with a lived and living experience of mental ill health and suicide, and those who love, have loved, and care for them. Now, this session today will resonate with all of us. We all have our own well-being, we all manage our well-being, and we all have our own experiences supporting each other, our families, our work colleagues, and those around us. Okay. So the focus today is going to be on the psychosocial factors that contribute to all of our lives, contribute to different levels of distress that we may have, which ultimately contributes to our own well-being in the workplace. Okay. The first one, trauma. Okay. I'm just going to refer to my note quickly, so I'm not just looking at my phone. Okay. So trauma and abuse, they refer to experiences of significant psychological, emotional, or physical harm resulting in traumatic events or abusive behaviours. These can be long-lasting effects on individuals, their mental health, emotional well-being, and their quality of life. So we can have people that we work with and work with in your businesses that have trauma and have experienced abuse and can become quite fragile in the workplace. Okay? So examples of these: physical abuse, domestic violence, childhood abuse and neglect, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, traumatic events, stalking and bullying. These are examples of behaviours that do happen in workplaces and everywhere else around us. The social factors. So social factors and stressors refer to factors or situations within our social environments that can cause stress, discomfort, and challenges for individuals. These stressors can arise from various interpersonal interactions, social dynamics, societal pressures. So within the workplace, we can have relationship conflict, peer pressure, social isolation and loneliness, and worldwide evidence shows that loneliness across the populations has increased massively since the pandemic. Bullying, harassment, social rejection or exclusion, social comparison, cultural and societal expectations, and social media pressures. And life transitions links to divorce, people when they get to a certain age in their lives that we might want to have career changes, relationship, divorce, things like that. So the physical health stressors refer to situations that can negatively impact individuals' physical well-being, causing stress and discomfort and health-related concerns. Now, I work alongside many people that have got physical health issues that may impact their ability to do their work or to fulfil their position description or their actions and tasks. But it's how we engage with them, how we communicate, what are our what's the work health and safety, what's the support look like. And this can impact and happen to any of us at any time. Acute illness or injury, chronic illness and health conditions. And obviously we as employees, we have an obligation to be transparent and honest with our employers about these things. But there are people and employers that may discriminate against people who may say, look, I have a long-term health condition that may need me to have reduced hours or work part-time or impact how I can actually carry out my duties in the workplace. Pain, sleep disorders, work-related physical stress, which is including of, the environment, age-related changes, which everyone has. We've got an ageing workforce as well. People are working longer. So what does that look like for people's mental health? Financial. So financial stressors refer to situations or factors that cause individuals to experience anxiety, worry, or strain related to finance. Now, every one of us in this room and online have been exposed to financial stressors. An example of that is the mortgage rates. If you've got mortgages, you get the letter from the bank, it's going up, your weekly payments are going up next month, whether you can afford it or not, which then impacts people's rent. So every one of us is experiencing financial stressors. So we've also got job loss, debt burden, unexpected expenses, the cost of living, the cost of food. I'm a mental health nurse. I used to manage the Gosford Mental Health Inpatient Unit. I had some of my staff going to the food banks who were balancing childcare costs, increased work, having to work part-time. So this is not just about people that don't work, but this is about all of us. And it's about having that empathy with each other, about how we can support each other. Lack of savings, housing costs, healthcare costs, retirement savings. People are working longer. Are people of the cashed in their superannuation and now have to work? What does that look like for them? Family obligations and income equality, which can cause stress. Discrimination stressors refer to instances where individuals experience unfair treatment or prejudice based on certain characteristics or attributes. And these can impact an individual's well-being and contribute to various psychological, emotional, and physical challenges. So examples of these are racial discrimination. I myself have been in Australia for 12 years. I still get some comments about, do you not wish you were Australian? Do you not wish you're an Australian accent? I've got my own accent. But you do have that. You do get that. I have had, you don't belong in Australia, get back to your own country, etc., from professional people. Gender, age, sexual orientation, disability, religious, weight-based, language, which is mine, and national origin, which is mine. So these can have massive impacts on people that we can't see. Relationship stressors refer to challenges and difficulties with interpersonal relationships, and that can cause us emotional strain and conflict and tension. And examples of these are communication issues, conflict and disagreements, life transitions again, trust issues, family conflict, boundary and expectations, and role strain. So the occupational one. So when we look at that, this is probably more focused at business. The design of our jobs within small businesses, including workload, task variety, and autonomy and control, can impact employees' psychological well-being. High demand jobs, coupled with low control over work processes, can lead to stress and burnout amongst employees. As small business owners and employees often face challenges balancing work-life balances and personal life commitments. Some of us do this well, even apart the fact that some of us might check our work emails when we're supposed to be off the clock. Simple things that you're never switching off. And depending on the type of emails that you're getting, can contribute and engage your stress levels to not lessen when you're at home. Poor work-life balance can lead to increased stress, decreased job satisfaction, and conflict between work and personal obligations. Role conflict. So that's when you, as an employee, you face conflicting demands. and expectations in your roles. An ambiguity of your role can bring uncertainty and contribute to job dissatisfaction and stress. Workplace relationships are fabulous when they work well, but they do contribute to an inclusive, good working environment. But when we fall out with people in the workplace, when those relationships are no longer what they were, that can impact and provide a negative workplace and interactions. Reward and recognition, obviously lack of reward and recognition systems can lead to decreased morale, job dissatisfaction and disengagement from your employees and from us as employees as well. Organisational change is always difficult for everybody. Some people go with the flow, some people try and stop the flow of the change. Some people's behaviours can become poor through change. But it's understanding why is that occurring for that person. And it's about managing that communication and involvement and expectation of everyone going through the changes. Job security and development obviously can bring stress to your staff and to ourselves. Now, I've put this in just for the fact to bring awareness that we're all susceptible to distress, to having all these factors impact us at some point in our lives and our careers. Ministry of Health and New South Wales Health have priority populations. LGBTQ+ communities, young people, older people, that is people up 65+ and 85+. Males from the age of 24 and above and 24 under, and Aboriginal communities are more susceptible at experiencing distress. And it's imperative that they have the communities around them and resources to assist them with that. So workplaces, there are training opportunities from government agencies that are being funded by the Ministry of Health to provide training to workplaces. And will kind of guide places in regards to what information, what resources can just be out there to look so that people can appreciate and sense there's cultural sensitivity, inclusion and diversity. So Safe Works New South Wales touched on this. I'm just going to go forward one. So the shared belief among employees is that they can express themselves, take interpersonal risks and contribute their ideas or opinions without fear of negative consequences to their self-image, status or career. That is what psychological safety in the workplace is. That's what people should be able to have and feel when they go to their work every day. Psychological safety, there's 6 elements of that. So within the small businesses, it's imperative that we have open communication so that employees feel valued, empowered to speak up, ask the questions, feel safe to ask questions, express their opinions without fear of blame or retribution. Oh, sorry. Risk-taking. Employees feel comfortable about taking interpersonal risks when they feel safe, when they're able to share their ideas, propose new solutions, or admitting the mistakes and knowing how they can move forward, how you as employees, employers and group can move forward. Reflection is great, hindsight is great, but it's about engaging each other. Trust. There has to be a foundation of trust amongst the teams and between employees and leadership, and this fosters a sense of psychological safety where everyone feels confident in their interactions and relationships with you. Respectful interaction, now you would think that this was just a given. It isn't always a given in the workplaces. It's about how we treat each other with respect, empathy and kindness and create an environment where our differences are listened to and heard and valued. And where there's constructive conversations when there might be some differing of opinions. Supportive leadership. Not everyone can be a leader. People could be managers, people could be owners of businesses. Management and leadership are two different things. They do combine, but having leadership skills and management skills are quite different. Supportive leadership in small businesses actively cultivate a culture of psychological safety by modelling openness, vulnerability and humility, and by encouraging collaboration, feedback and learning. And then learning orientation. That's where businesses promote good culture, where mistakes are seen as opportunities to grow, where people's opinions are listened to, like we've said up there. Now the black dog, this is a QR code and this is the link, but we could send this out to you through the wellbeing component or through Alex. The black dog, actually, I've got workplace mental health wellbeing training, and it is free for small businesses. Okay. There's 3 different training modules that they're doing, and they are called Workplace Mental Health Training, Leading a Mental Health Workplace and Managing for Team Wellbeing. And the training is funded by the New South Wales Government, and you can also get practical tools to talk about and support mental health in the workplace. And the workplace toolkit is actually really good. There's also mental health first aid workplace training. That is at a cost through mental health first aid. However, we are advocating through funding agencies to provide that training in the community. There's lots of community training through mental health first aid up in Newcastle and Sydney. Central Coast seems to be skipped a little bit, or the places go very quickly. So that's one thing that we are working through to try and get into the Central Coast community. We also have the Central Coast Suicide Prevention Alliance, which is suicide prevention and post-prevention services across the Central Coast. The Central Coast Local Health District is one of them. That is the website. There's training opportunities. It is for the community, which we are all part of. Lots of different training for all different cultural inclusion, diversity groups as well, and all services that are available, and a lot of free services that are available, free psychological services that are listed there as well. So just about our wellbeing now, if you're impacted in any way or feel you require support, please access your own support networks. If you'd like to connect with support, you can always email me or reach out to me. I'll be floating about. But be kind to yourselves. Thank you.